Well, it's 2025. We had a question from somebody who wanted to see the state of the collection. And I typically do an end-of-year review, state of the collection, which involves hauling down my watch boxes and then sort of looking at all these watches. My watch boxes together hold, I believe it's 48 watches. And there's, you know, I wore far less than 48 different watch models this year. So I grabbed the watch models that I actually wore. And in no particular order, because I can't remember what order they might have been, here they go. This one I'm grabbing first because it was surprising to me. The time and the date are not right, by the way. I haven't set this watch. I just got it running. My Marinemaster, my first gen SBDX 001. The first one, the baby. What year is this one? I forget, 2014? 2004. It's a gorgeous watch, and I've owned a few of these, and I didn't actually think I was ever going to own one ever again. And then a longtime friend of mine and fellow collector was leaning, you know, cutting down his collection, and this is one of the ones he never wore, and it came box and tags and everything, and it is very barely worn. They're just gorgeous, hand loomed, and the loom has a slight tan hint to it. They're just really pretty. I wore this watch for like 6 weeks. I just couldn't bring myself to take it off. You know, the first, and it has these, you know, glorious Seiko proportions with a, you know, Seiko's particular look with a smaller dial and a larger rotating ring that makes it easier to see compared to, where is it? Where did I put it? Aha. Compared to, say, a 62 MAS, like that. I wore this watch a lot, too. They're just gorgeous. I love them. And I have a peculiar problem, is that I like watch models a lot more when they aren't being made anymore. It makes them look a little more awesome to me. And that's certainly true with this one. It's a big piece of arm candy. Big old boat anchor, but the visual fineness of this, relatively speaking, thinner bracelet, this taper bracelet with its beautiful finishing, sort of decreases the visual weight of the whole watch. It's a nice combination. It really is a lovely watch, and I personally hope to, you know, keep this one around for as long as possible. I think that's a nice watch. Yeah, I wore this watch a lot. In fact, I wore this watch underneath when I was working on Green Bean, and it came out of that in pretty good condition. Another watch that I wore a lot, especially when I was working on Green Bean, was my Rolex 000. Again, I haven't set this watch. This is a 1987 Rolex 168000. It was the least. I have a cat up here. What? Here, there. Look, go. There you go. These were only made for about a year and a half. It's the shortest production run that I'm aware of that Rolex did. It's the first 6-digit sub. I don't care what anybody says. It's the 168000. It's the first 6-digit sub. It's the last year of tritium loom. Last model with tritium loom. And mine has tritium loom. It's all original. It's the last model with the old 3035. The subsequent model had the 3135. It has the higher grade stainless steel case and bracelet, I believe. I always get these confused. It went from 314 to 914L, I believe, but they didn't have everything ready to go yet, and so they used, I think, the old metal on the case and the new metal on the bracelet, something like that. I always have to go back and read because it confuses me. This one's cool, though, because not only is this a rare model, I have all the documentation with it. I have the watch, I have all the paperwork that goes with it. I have the box. I have everything. This is a rare rarer model as well, because it is the Type 2, what's called the Z dial. See the S in Submariner? See how it's kind of sharp and angled? Looks like a Z, and this is Type 2 Z. These dials are prone to corrosion. They get this, the clear coat on the top wasn't great for some reason in these generations, so you get this kind of flaky Stardust look to them, dust. Mine has a little bit, but not much. But there are others that if they're in a really hot or humid environment, they can really go off. Mine hasn't. It's a nice watch. It's all original. I thought for a long time that the case had been reworked because these lugs are thinner than these lugs, but that apparently is how they were supposed to be done. I love this watch. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous old watch. Here's another watch I wore a lot. And under green bean as well. My Speedmaster. It's a good watch. I rebuilt this one, actually. This one's due to be serviced again. I serviced this one. I bought it and serviced it back in 2016. And for a few years there, I didn't really ever wear it. But then, you know, it kind of grabbed me. I put it on. I love the depth of the hand stack, the curve of the crystal. Just the depth of it. It's just such a clean design. And there's a reason these are so popular and still so loved, because it's such a classic design. I typically don't wear these on their bracelets. The bracelets have these big, heavy, integrated, basically the first link. The end links are really big, unlike the old ones which had a standard end link, a hollow end link. These are solid, kind of in fact like this, like that Marinemaster. And it makes the watch bulkier, and that doesn't really do it for me, so I tend to not wear it on its bracelet. I wore this one a lot. My 6105 8000, this is 8009, yes? 8009 Resist. It is the second rarest of the 6105s. The rarest being the 6105 8009 proof. Those are quite rare. This one has a service handset. I got them from Seiko. It came to me like this. So that's our service handset. It's a lovely watch. It's nice. I can wear this watch without fear. It keeps great time. I like this watch a lot. And the dial is just excellent, with the high polish markers like it's supposed to have. If you hear snoring in the background, that's the dog. I got on sort of a kick after wearing my Speedmaster. I went back to my old birthday present for myself from, gosh, a long time ago, 6-7 years ago. I bought this out of Japan, and it came as non-working and damaged. I bought this for a really decent price for what these go for now. It was missing, what was it missing? Because these are case. This case is like a standalone piece, this mid case, and the whole inner bit, the you know, the movement and all that other kind of stuff is kind of like a cartridge that fits in here. Gosh, the dog is snoring like crazy. I got to get a new crystal. Look at that. That was a brand new crystal. I don't know what I hit, but I sure did. These are beautiful. They're really cool. The movements in these are neat. It's all original loom. These are cool. The big cool thing with these is that their minute counter is this hand with the wings on there. When you push the start button, these have vertical column. They have clutches, and you put this in, and you basically release the clutch, and you bind the minute counter hand to the actual minute hand itself. So it's like you've got 2 minute hands. What a beautiful watch. This is original. The original bracelet. These are cool. I'm always glad that I picked this up. Again, I didn't wear this one for years, and then this year it kind of grabbed me again. And it's got that big high omega hand stack, all that stuff going on. A cool watch. And then I went through a crazy tuna phase of all things. 6159 titanium. Wake up. Wake up. There she blows. The original, the grandfather tuna titanium case, 600 meter, completely original. That's the way these are supposed to look with the white hand loom and the tan dial loom. The best theory I've heard given so far for this color of this loom, which was also, you also see in the early 6306s, 6309s, is that it was some kind of waterproofing material for the loom, because the loom on these, like all these Seikos from this period, is salt-based and attracts moisture, and then it turns black. I don't know that that's true, the idea that this had a different formulation of loom, but obviously something was different. So I wore this one, and I jumped straight into wearing its son, the 7549 Golden Tuna. Same exact cases. You can swap these movements back and forth. You can swap the shrouds back and forth. They're basically the same thing. It's one of the best examples of how you have a quartz movement family and a mechanical movement family that overlap, because the 754Xs were designed on the back of the 6000 series automatics. What a pretty watch. Sorry for all the bonking. This one's got, speaking of bonking, this one's got some bonks going on. It's not perfect. There's a little bit of wear, but the dial and hands are great. Hand loomed, all that. I wore both of these probably a couple weeks each, maybe. I'm not honestly sure. I'll put this right in there, because that's an honorable mention. I did wear this one a fair amount, but I was on Tuna Land. So I went and after that I was wearing this. This is my Auto-tuna. I built this out of parts. This was never one watch. I got the case from one place. I got the dial from another. I found the handset in a watchmaker's lot. The rotating ring I bought separately, and I found same thing for the shroud. So this was never a watch. I didn't mod an existing watch. This is a watch I built around an automatic 6349 movement that I upgraded with upper and lower mainspring arbor jewels. My Auto-tuna. I always want to say some nice things. I had a buddy of mine in the watch collecting community, Sean Cody, is down in Texas. And he had tried he was always saying, I'm going to get that watch into my watch box. I'm going to get that watch off of you soon. And he, unfortunately, he died. But whenever I think about this watch, I always think about Sean Cody. Good old Sean Cody. And funny dude. But it led me to this, which is what is called the TST cases. This came out of the collection, same collection as same collection as, darn it, is this watch, which is coming up. And also, which one of these ones did I get from him? And now here's, I'll figure it out. In any case, this TST, this is where they take a slim case, 6309 case or 7548 case, and they machine it down to take a custom-made shroud. When I got it, the shroud was very bright. It had bright polished, and I threw it into a rock tumbler that we had already going, and it actually did this beautiful frosted finish. Yeah, the guy who produced these said that he made them in his shed or whatever the heck it is, but there's no way. He doesn't have a CNC machine, which is what would be required to get something like this done. So I'm not sure if that story is correct or not, or I'm not thinking about it, or who knows, but this one is built around a lovely, it looks like it was a 7,000 7549, 7548, 7000C. I wish I had the original case and case back for it. If I had that stuff, that I'd build this back into it. I'm not sure, you know, what the rationale was behind, you know, doing this watch up like this, but it's really attractive, and I love the combination of that deep gold, you know, and the black with the orange and the blue lettering. It's a nice watch, and I wore that one a good amount. My last 3 watches of the year that I wore just a ton were, first, this one, my LeJour with its scratched up original crystal. This is the poor man's Top Gun. This came to me in pieces, and I didn't expect to love it as much as I did, but I do love it. It's PVD, is what people say, but I'm not sure what it is, because it looks like it's almost kind of an anodization. It's a hard finish, and it's only thin through. It's almost like a gun barrel, gun bluing, like maybe like a parkerization. I know I keep saying that, and people are flapping their hands at me, but that's what it reminds me of. I wore this watch. I must have worn this watch for 2 months. It keeps excellent time. I serviced it and rebuilt it. It keeps amazing time. It's within a few seconds. Speaking of within a few seconds, there's this one, this baby. 6138, 7000. Oh, I got a big ass scratch on the crystal. When did I do that? Ooh, I have to polish that crystal. But I wore the ever-loving heck out of this watch. Easily a good month I wore this watch. It's original. It's even the original cursor ring with that little blue tint there. Hands are all original. It's a little scratched up. It's a little weather beaten, but it's such a nice watch on the original bracelet. It was such a pleasure to wear. It's one of Seiko's greatest designs. All original. These are seen today with different color hands, in large part because the orange fades down to sort of a custard yellow white. But that's the original handset. That's what they're supposed to look like. And that's all original lume and everything. This watch keeps time to within a few seconds, like just every single day. Like I don't have to reset it. It just hangs in there. Maybe it's a little fast one day, maybe it's a little slow. And then the last watch I've spent the last month wearing, my 6105 8110, bought from the original owner down in Australia. And this was his watch, and he offered it to me, and I bought it, and it's going to stay right here. This is the first watch I've ever owned where my son looked at the watch before it was cleaned up at all and said, "Oh, it's beautiful." Dial lume is exquisite. The dial is perfect. It's got its nice only slightly faded pip there. The metal of the hand surface is it's great, especially the metal of the hands is perfect. And that's so important for me. It's a really nice watch. And this one too has been keeping, this is the one with the new Swiss mainspring. And it has been keeping time, just exquisite time. It'll be ahead a few seconds and then behind a few seconds, but the only time I had to reset this is after the first initial run in, where I looked at it and it was running a little slow, and so I adjusted its accuracy and closed it up again, and it has been just as accurate as anything. I went out to lunch with some buddies of mine, friends from high school, the other day. I was wearing this watch, and I took it off and I was showing it to them, and I just blown away at how, you know, elegant and special this watch model is. There's nothing else that looks like it. Nothing at all. Just gorgeous watches, and there's a reason that they're so collectible. There's nothing else that looks like them. So that pretty much is my year in watches. I did wear other watches, but these are the ones that I wore the most. There you are. How many watches is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. About one watch a month, right? Well, that's it. That's my unplanned, unscripted, unrehearsed recap of 2024. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you're still here watching, thank you so much for watching. And we're looking for, I got some more good stuff coming in from Ethiopia, which is where I got my my Hoyer from, which is waiting on parts. We're going to see some more cool stuff coming in, so here's to a good 2025. Thank you so much for watching.